About that? Is that
That's
better?
it. That's better. That's better.
Okay.
I'm just seeing our levels are hitting the same marks, and that is what we need. Okay. So, Andy, this should be an exciting edition because we have no movie planned.
No.
But as always, the clock is running.
TikTok.
Tick-tock.
You talking to me?
Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast?
Then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like a clown. You?
I'm Peter Binkman. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Man that doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man.
Damn!
I'm kind of a big deal.
First rule of my club is do not talk about my
Yeah, baby!
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
I'm going to start doing it in a more seductive way, I think.
Oh, did you
TikTok.
hear what I did to your TikTok in the last episode?
I did, thank you.
TikTok, TikTok.
Yeah, it was very good. Very, very good.
Yeah. I've got to admit there was less production value in the last episode because we were in such a rush to get it out.
I was supposed to edit that one, and I just couldn't find the time. There's also family stuff going on, and then in the end, I was like, I can't do it. I'm really sorry. So Stephen had to just do it really quickly.
Yeah,
You
so
did a sterling job, mate. A sterling job.
yeah, as long as I can get the cold opening done, then the rest can just play itself.
I mean,
But yeah,
it doesn't need to be any editing because it's all just golden, isn't it?
it's just gold. It's just us,
Yeah.
man. It's just us. So what's the plan for this episode, Andy? What did you throw at us last week?
Well, I had this great idea of we're going to pitch ourselves an Evil Dead movie because what appears to be is some brighter director will put out a short film and Sam Raimi will see that and go, I like that. So he'll phone this person and go, pitch me an idea for an Evil Dead film. And if he likes it, they get the money together and they make it. And that seems to be what happened with Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
So
that was
my idea. But then I suddenly become all self-conscious because I can write. I've been able to write since I was about 3, but Stephen's a writer. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. So I've suddenly become all intimidated by it because no doubt, Stephen, there'll be prose. It'll be all, there'll be subtext.
There's plot holes. There's plot holes. Trust me. And we're going to read this and we're going to be like, yeah, but you haven't really thought that through. But these are rough ideas.
Yeah. Well, what I decided to do is I thought what I'll do is I'm going to give the start of the film.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start it and get through the opening couple of scenes. So there's not that much. And then I wanted to see what you thought of it because I've gone a little bit Wes Craven's New Nightmare with it. That's all I'm going to say.
That's weird because it's funny. I saw your screenshot because you sent a screenshot with your hand covering it, and I saw a word, and I thought, right, I know what you're doing. You've gone meta with this.
Yeah, I have.
And guess what, Andy? I went meta with mine.
Oh!
But my reference was more Halloween H2O kind of meta. You know, it's kind of like
okay.
Yeah, but you go first, dude. Let's do this.
Right.
Trust me.
I initially had, because we were discussing how Ash, and now when I looked at it, it's quite a well-known theory, but I had no idea of this until we talked about Evil Dead last week. But every film, every iteration of Ash, a lot of people think is a different version of Ash. It's a different alternative reality of Ash.
Okay.
And initially, I had the idea of Ash going into a cartoon. I was actually talking to my daughter about this, and daughter was like, "Do you remember Ben 10? What if Ash went into Ben 10 and then Ben 10's Omnitrix had to fight all these Deadites in a cartoon scenario?" I thought that's actually a really good idea. Stupid 14-year-old girl having better ideas than me.
That's she's our future, man.
She is. So I tried to go in there, but then I thought I just couldn't make it work. And I thought, what do I want? And then, yeah, okay. So am I going to read this to you?
Yeah, just take your time. We're not pitching to Raimi right now. So
okay. So I've not wrote it in a script format or anything like that.
No, we don't do that. It's just
pure. a stream of consciousness came out.
That's it.
Okay. What was the word you read, by the way, that gave you this away?
Convention, or
Okay.
or Comic Con or Crypticon or something.
Yeah, that was it. Right. Okay. So Bruce Campbell is at a horror con. Yeah.
Can I just stop you 1 second before? The first line of mine is Bruce Campbell is at a convention. So we both had literally the same first line. But carry on. Okay.
That's insane, man.
It is insane.
Some weird mirror brain going on here.
Yeah, let's see what happens here.
Right. A fan gives him a fake copy of the Necronomicon to sign. Oh, shit. Let me go, because I went really deep with this. The person is wearing a Freddy Krueger costume.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Crossover?
Right.
No, that's okay.
Oh, no, good. As Bruce signs it, somebody from the audience asked him to read a passage from the book. At first, he's hesitant as he thought, well, this is a little bit too much fan service. But being the sort of person Bruce Campbell is, he's always there to read fans, and he's always obviously up there for a laugh, so he decides to do it. He asks a random person in the audience to shout a number between 1 and 666, thinking, obviously, that'd be funny. A lady dressed as Xena Warrior Princess,
Yep, Raimi.
Shouts first, 69. Everyone laughs. Obviously, it's a funny joke, As Bruce laughs as well, he's clearly relishing the moment. Actors from other stands start to look over at the event as it's creating more and more interest. Casper Van Dien from the Starship Troopers film shouts out, Klamath Broda Nixu. Everybody laughs. Hey, buddy, are you trying to get me in trouble here? Replies Bruce. Bruce opens up the book and looks for page 69. He notices that every page is numbered in the right-hand corner. He smiles to himself as the book is clearly a poorly made copy of the one he remembers from in the films, because obviously in the films it was really well done. The book was done. This was clearly like a really, a fake copy. He finds page 69 and he starts to read. But planted in our flesh, these valleys stand. Everywhere we begin to know the illness, are forced up, and our times confirm us all. All of a sudden, all the lights go out. An eerie silence falls over the room. Then all of a sudden, it's bloody Hasselhoff. Everyone looks over, and it's Lindsay Lohan is pointing over to the corner of the room.
This is a star-studded cast.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
David Hasselhoff is near a circuit break. I tried to think of like people who are not really famous anymore, but still famous, who might be at this convention, who've got their own stands,
Okay.
So maybe it may be a convention more than a horror con. There's like different actors.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Hasselhoff is near a circuit breaker. He's laughing to himself. He switches it back on. He's like, hey, man, you know me. Always one for a practical joke. And then as he does every time you see him, he gets his little watch. He's like, kid, come and get me, kid. Bruce fakes a smile, but it's kind of a bit annoyed him, So he signs the book and he passes it back to the man dressed as Freddy Krueger. Well, this has been fun, says Bruce, but I'll have to go get myself off now. It's just getting towards the end of the day. So everyone claps. He signs a few more things. He collects his things. He goes. The man dressed as Freddy Krueger leaves the room and makes his way out of the building, passing a whole host of people in costumes. As he clears the crowd, he removes his Freddy Krueger mask to reveal that he's in fact Ash out of the first Evil Dead film. Stealing from the dead, hey, he mutters to himself as the camera fades out. Next shot, we're back with Bruce in his hotel room. He has a glass of wine in one hand and the Doors are playing in the background. He looks at his computer with his itinerary for the next day. More conventions, he whispers to himself, and there's a little smile on his face. The door. He walks over to the hotel door, looks at the people. There's a waiter stood there with his food. His face is kind of out of sight a little bit. You can't quite see his face, but the waiter's him pushing a trolley. Medium rare, hey chief, says Bruce. The room, the waiter just basically ignores him, walks into the room, doesn't reply. But as he walks through, the waiter just stops in his tracks. He's like, "Are you okay, pal?" inquires Bruce. He hears a noise behind him from outside the door, so he quickly turns around, but there is nothing there. So he turns back around, and the waiter is now facing him, but he's got a hood over his face, distorting his face. I bought water instead of waiter, by the way. He turned around. He starts to grasp the lid over the plate from which the food is. Where Bruce, so Bruce's meal, he's about to lift the plate so he can see his food.
Yeah. Okay.
He's going, "You're being a bit dramatic, aren't you?" says Bruce. The waiter says nothing and lifts the plate to reveal a severed hand. And he's like, "Goddamn fans, you need to learn some space, man. This is not cool." He just assumes it's a fan who's infiltrated, got in.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The waiter takes his hood off, and it's to reveal that it actually looks like Ash out of Evil Dead 2. He's like, what the fuck? Says Bruce. At which point, the hand on the plate jumps off and grabs Bruce round the throat. Bruce starts to struggle with it. Ash out of Evil Dead 2 lifts off more of the sheet off the trailer to show a chainsaw, which he now connects to his hand, which Bruce is now noticing through the tears, and that he has no hand there. He's like, oh my God. So Bruce out of Evil Dead 2 starts to laugh maniacal. Join us, he says. He rips a cord on the chainsaw, which bursts into life. Bruce gets thrown into a wall hard by this hand, which makes him go all faint, and he's trying to regain his consciousness. Ash from Evil Dead 2 gets closer, bringing the chainsaw closer to his face. I'm going to swallow your soul, says Ash. The chainsaw gets closer and closer. Out of nowhere, there is a gunshot that shoots a hole in the wall right next to him. Bruce manages to get the hand off his throat and throws it to the ground. The hand jumps up, looking like it's about to jump again and grab at his throat. A second gunshot hits the hand, which explodes in a mess of blood. A third gunshot hits Ash out of Evil Dead 2, which throws. He hits the floor. Through the hotel room door, Ash out of Ash versus Evil Dead walks in, holding a gun. So this is older Ash. We better get you out of here, Bruce. Don't worry, you can thank me later. In that kind of tone that that Ash versus Evil Dead would have. Bruce looks around bewildered, like, what the hell's going on here? As Ash from Evil Dead 2 starts to stand up, revealing a hole in his stomach from the gunshot. Out now, Cochise, shouts Ash out of Ash versus Evil Dead. Bruce runs through the door. Another voice comes from down the corridor. This way, you primitive screwhead. Bruce looks down and sees Ash out of Army of Darkness. He's like, what the fuck? What's going on? Shouts Bruce. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. Well, I've got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now, Jack and shit. And Jack just left town. You better follow me. That's as far as I got.
Wow. Okay, so this is like multiverse stuff.
I've got multiverse. So I had the idea initially that the characters out of the films were coming into real life. So that's not an old. That's the trope. That's been done a lot. But I thought if every version of Ash is from a different multiverse, so what if they all collided? But some of them were sort of possessed by deadites who were after him.
Yeah.
Some were not. So Ash versus Evil Dead, the TV series, was trying to save the actor, Bruce Campbell, and so was the Army of Darkness Ash. But Ash out of the first Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 were trying to kill him.
We're possessed.
And that was where, we're possessed by deadites.
That's amazing.
And then I thought trying to get out, then the world was now starting to turn into like an apocalyptic thing where there was deadites here, there was no deadites. And I thought characters out of all the films are like unpossessed, his girlfriend out the first one, not possessed, but also is possessed out of other realities, and it was all merging, and that's the idea.
That's it.
But I'm not clever enough to foresee that to its logical conclusion.
You know what? And of course, there has to be a kind of a trip that they have to go on. They have to go somewhere to, and there's only so many places you can go, but it always ends up at the cabin or ends up somewhere else.
Exactly. I was going to say, ultimately, it would end at the cabin with all these people coming to the cabin and something happens to happen. And what I thought was
the sacrifice of Ash.
Yeah, but I thought the only way this could end is Bruce had to sacrifice himself to the Necronomicon. Then he was never around to ever act as Ash. And ultimately, the actor Bruce Campbell would have to kill himself, so Ash never existed. And that would mean that we'd live in a world eventually with no Evil Dead films.
Right. And then no sequels. What you're trying to do is to kind of put the pin in it and say it's done. Yeah. That's daring. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, because I thought I had more to say. It did have a lot to say about sequels of diminishing quality, and not that Evil Dead's done that. Well, I suppose it has, but it's kind of you've got these perfect films, these perfect 3 films, and then the other one's not quite as good, and the TV series is brilliant, and I love it, but
that's because it's Bruce Campbell.
But now it's going out there that anyone is going to be able to make Evil Dead films. They'll go off in any generation, and there might be awful ones, there might be really good ones.
Yeah.
And I'd like it just to be the original 3 films. And if it can't just be the original 3 films, what if it was just taken away and never existed?
So yeah, this is basically dad's not happy with the kids. You can't have your iPads. You can't play. You know, the kids are not all right. The kids are messing it up, messing with. Yeah. Okay. So this is basically yeah, the final chapter that never
Yeah.
exists, and then making sure it never existed. That's a daring way to go.
Yeah.
It would Sam Raimi be kind of like directing this? Would he kind of just jump in, or would?
Yeah, let's say, yeah, because it actually that kind of ties in because he directed Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, didn't he? So
Yeah, he did.
so it could be, you know, and didn't really get received very well, and even though it was actually all right film.
Yeah, putting a pin in it,
Um,
putting a pin in everything.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What do you think?
I love it. I mean, it's there's a lot of similarities. I mean, I like the idea of the cameos. You know, Hasselhoff messing around. I have a version of a Hasselhoff in my story who's not a Hasselhoff. I honestly thought that something else was going to happen when you lifted the waiter tray. I thought something else was going to appear, but
Okay.
I'll tell you once I get to that part of mine.
Right. Wow.
So then I'll say, well, that's when I thought you were going to lift the lid off the thing and blah. So yeah,
Right.
I really dig that idea. It's a fun idea, and I can see it as being so much like mine in that, you know, okay, I'm gonna admit mine is a bit of a road movie.
Okay.
So it does become something a little bit different, you know, because we've always Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead, they've all just been one place. You know, it's like with Die Hard, it's one place until you get to New York, and then it's everywhere, and then it's right. But to actually have a journey from and to, that's kind of like where I was going to go with it. So,
well, I had a story that started on a school bus.
yeah,
That was going on a school trip to another part of America. That's initially why I had in my head. But yeah, and then I went to the cartoon idea, and then this happened.
Yeah, the bus one would not be Bruce Campbell then. He wouldn't be riding the bus, would he? He's not driving buses. He's probably not even in this one. Ash could be a bus driver.
He could be, but
Ash could be a bus driver.
Gun in one hand, you know, he's only got one hand, hasn't he?
No, but what a reveal. No, carry on.
Yeah, exactly. No one knows. And then, one of them turns to a deadite, and then the bus driver turns around, it's Ash. But I just had that Ash was sort of somehow convoluted put into the story. He just happened to be where the deadites are. That's his thing. But I couldn't factor it up in my head. I was like, it was all weird. So I was like, no, okay.
And the thing is, we desperately want to put Ash in there. Ash is Evil Dead, but then does Ash need to really go through so much, you know, with Ash versus? So putting him in as an actual character from Evil Dead 2 and playing those characters off against reality, it's a little bit more the Terminator Genesis kind of way, but done better. Because what they did was just throw all the different pieces and just show you a clip of Terminator, show you a clip of that, but not actually really interacting properly with each other's reality. So I don't know why that happened. So what's the title of yours?
I actually didn't get as far as the title, but let's call it Evil Dead Genesis.
Evil Dead Genesis H2O.
Yeah, Evil Deader.
Evil Deader.
Not Evil Deadist. It's the
Evil
most Evil
Deadist.
Dead that there is.
Yeah, you can't get any dead.
You can't get more Evil Dead than this Evil Dead.
That'll be the tagline.
Right, your turn.
Wow, here we go.
Come on, Radford.
Pressure. Okay, the title of mine is The Evil Dead Reanimated.
Oh,
Okay.
excited. Yep.
So, okay. Right. So Bruce Campbell is heading. Oh, hang on. I've gone to the wrong version. I've got like 3 versions of this, and I just started to read the wrong. Okay. So Act 1. Bruce Campbell is at a convention. Way!
Hey, of course he is.
He's always happy to be there. But his spot is opposite Jeffrey Combs. He and Combs have always been friends. Of course, Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator.
Yeah.
And until
very
only
good.
recently, there was an incident at the previous convention back in 2021 involving taking the wrong chair on a panel, Combs sitting on Campbell's hot dog, and Campbell defacing Combs's Betty White autograph with a penis that he claims was actually an ice cream cone. Okay, and he didn't realize that Betty White was going to be dying, would be dead soon after, and that this autograph was really precious to Combs. It was really important that he had Betty White's autograph. So there was it's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back was kind of like, you know, the autograph, the penis on the autograph. It was an ice cream cone. No, it wasn't. Okay. So they're basically facing off at each other at this convention. It's like, can I move my spot? I need to be in a different spot. How about Tobey Maguire? Tobey Maguire tries to appease the situation with a running gag of telling them, but then they both tell Tobey Maguire, go back to your table, and he just goes off. You know, it's kind of like a bit of a running gag of just, Toby, back to your table. Okay, so Bruce settles down to sign autographs. Here, he stink eyes Combs back and forth from across the way. A kid dressed as Herbert from Reanimator arrives at his table with a very realistic fan copy of the Necronomicon. Yeah.
Crazy.
So, of course, and yours was wearing a Freddy Krueger outfit, and I thought you were going to kind of go full Freddy crossover. But no, mine's this guy is wearing the Herbert from Reanimator. Basically, you know, he's got the glasses, got the white gown. I was thinking, I was thinking possibly, what's his name from Harry Potter could play this. What was it? Actor?
Oh,
not Rupert Grint, the other one, the more famous one.
Yeah, the main one.
I cannot remember his name, and I did not write it down. But I just suddenly thought he would actually do really well in this kind of role. Okay, so this fan copy of the Necronomicon, the book smells and looks incredibly realistic. And as Bruce turns the page, you know, he's just bantering with this guy. And
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe is this kind of like a copy of Herbert from Reanimator, this fan. But there are drawings inside the book. First drawings are Combs and Campbell arguing, and they were like moments before, beautifully rendered. And then there's a theater with the word Cinedyne. Okay, I've put our stuff in there as well, man. I've put our stuff. There's a theater with the word Cinedyne in it, and a failed, you know, which was a failed concept of in LA to combine food and film. Of course, in LA they weren't going to have anything like that. It's cinema first, food later. And there's a school on Venice Avenue, which was the location where the Zurich scenes were filmed for the Reanimator. And there's like Arkham, and there's like a hotel. There's a crazy lady with a dead cat, and there's all this kind of stuff. And on the, you know, as he's going through the pages, he's like noticing that there are characters from Evil Dead being gathered at the bottom of the page, like the two girls, Scotty, Belinda, and then finally Ash, who seems to be there's music covering the page with the one with Ash, and it's all very confusing, but it all ends up at the then there's blank pages after that. It's like the cabin, and it says, "So you haven't finished it?" Then and he just says, I just need you to tell me if I'm on the right track." He says, "Oh, where do you want me to sign?" He says, No, I don't want you to sign it. I want you to tell me if I'm on the right track." And he goes, "Okay, I think you, you know, if there's no autograph, then I'm really happy. This is a beautiful piece of work. It's amazing. You're on the right track. Okay, shouldn't you go over to Combs? You know, like pushing him on."
Yeah, get on.
Okay, but there's also ancient language text in the book, and Campbell is impressed, but the smell is too much. He's trying to move him on, and naturally the kid wants to just he just wants validation at this stage.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
so a couple of Deadites wander into the convention. Of course, it's cosplayers. He's used to messing with them. They come over to him, and Herbert's watching them. He's kind of noticing that this kid, Herbert, is kind of like just watching, observing, holding this Necromicon in his arms. He goes over to Combs and says, "Is that fanboy? Has he been to see you yet?" And Combs says, "No, but he's been watching that kid circling the room, watching their every move. Is it me? Or do the psycho ones get younger and younger?" Campbell says. And Combe replies, "True, but we, the maniac heroes of this film, get older and older." So they're kind of like they're at odds, but they're kind of like on the same page at the same time.
Yeah.
Or something wittier, I don't know. I've just lost my page. Hang on. So again, there's always detail in the first part. There's always so much detail in the first part, and once we get past the detail, I'll basically just have points instead of actual prose. Combs returns to his table, and there's an old lady dressed as a surgeon. She's kind of like trying to be dressed up as the woman in I think it was Megan from Reanimator, but she's obviously not Megan from Reanimator. She's like a very, very large, kind of very heavyset woman, quite old, and she introduces herself and asks if Combs got her email. That kind of creepy fan stuff. He says no, and then the woman throws a dead black cat on the table and asks Combs to bring it back to life.
Great.
She's nuts. Combs looks at her with absolute disdain, and then we just hard cut, because that's like a moment of right. Here we are. Campbell meets the two diehard fans dressed as Cheryl and Shelley, the underdogs of the Evil Dead, and they know everything about the characters, and they go off and do the masquerade. Combs is observing. There's this kind of like back and forth. It's kind of cinematic. No Hasselhoff, no Lindsay Lohan, I'm afraid, but there is Tobey Maguire, who will be useful. And then they notice that the girls do their masquerade, but then Herbert follows them. And Combs is observing. He says, I saw it too. Okay. Combs watches the girls as they head for the masquerade. Hang on. He loses Herbert in the crowd, but Combs watches the girls as they head out to the wings. He runs out to see if they're okay, but they're gone. Combs runs out through the exit, out onto the street as he watches a black van pull away, peeling onto the road at high speed. He sees blood at his feet and is certain something has just happened to the two girls. Herbert's gone. He's taken those two girls. He sees the woman with the dead cat heading to her car. He says he'll do anything he can just to borrow her car. She's mad as hell, and beats Combs to the ground with the dead cat. Mean bastard. And then she goes to the cat because the cats have this pet collar with a tracking device. This is the convoluted part of the story because I need this, otherwise it doesn't work. I need the so mean bastard, and now I won't be needing this anymore. Rufus is dead, she says. That's the name of the cat in Reanimator. Yeah. And so she clips this pet tracking device on his wrist, and he's like, "What are you doing, crazy lady?" Maguire is outside hustling illegal merchandise. And he manages because we think I like the idea of Tobey Maguire kind of being this hustler as well, and in his life, and he has been kind of known to do that. Yeah. He manages to get Combs back into the invention. Campbell and Combs talk about Hermit and the Necromicon. Campbell remembers that the school on Venice, the location used in Reanimator. He supposes that the book was written out like a plan. But the book is actually an instruction, create people off have once in it. Is someone there to come and head to school as that was there, hoping to the cause. Arrive at the school. They can't get anywhere close because it's a high school and there's metal detectors. Nobody will, and Tobey Maguire obviously feels uncomfortable because he's done some hustling there as well.
Right.
Then they spot the abandoned Cinedyne theater, and all of a sudden it's like they reckon Campbell recognized that from the sign. That was that off theater that failed because they tried to bring food into the cinemas in LA of all places. You don't do that in LA. And then Combs notices he recognizes the black van. Okay. And they head over to confront Herbert, but wait, Combs says, he will recognize us if we go there. We need to set a trap without him knowing. So they decide that nobody knows Tobey Maguire without the Spider-Man costume, so they will send him in with a clipboard and do an in-person inspection of the building. So he goes in. At the moment Maguire goes in, he's got his clipboard, he knows what he's doing, everything's great. The moment he walks through, his head is whipped off with a chainsaw. Okay? Tobey Maguire, headless.
Straight away.
How
many minutes are we into the film at this point?
I'd say it was about 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes. So 30 minutes in, a major A-list celebrity dead.
Yeah, for good, for reality. You know.
Love it.
So Tobey Maguire is now disembodied. Herbert appears, hides Toby's body in a dump in somewhere, and then takes his head down to the lab. You know, he's holding his head. You know, takes.
Yeah.
Herbert has a vat of reanimation glow juice, and he uses a syringe on Maguire's head, and it comes back to life just like it did in the movies. It works, he says. It works. It's amazing. So as he waits, Combe remembered the pet tracker on his wrist, and Campbell suggests that they put it on the van just in case they lose track of it. Thank you. I needed that tracker to be on the van. But then there's also another problem a little bit later when I realize, oh, hang on.
Who's tracking the tracker?
Yeah, who's got the tracker? What's the username? What's the password? But don't worry, because I've already said, you know, did you get my email? She said to Combs.
Oh, this is why you're very good at this.
That's why there is setup in it, which has to have payoff, and yeah, okay. So Combs and Campbell quietly investigate the black van, and they look in the window and they find the reanimated cosplayers appearing as deadites from the back window. They're all chained up, and they're all like the two girls. And it's like Campbell knows that they can't still be in character, and that something is definitely wrong. No shit, says Combs. Armed with whatever they can find at the car, they run into the theater. Herbert is ready and clubbers and attempts to clobber them, but he manages to slip through their hands, escaping with his life in the van with the two screaming deadite cosplayers clawing helplessly at the window. So yeah, that could be like a dramatic scene of them running around a theater, you know, whatever works for that to make it entertaining. So Campbell discovers the abandoned head of Maguire, who suddenly opens his eyes confused. Combs and Campbell believe that the kid portraying Herbert in the Reanimator was actually found a way to reanimate corpses. The two girls are in trouble. More people may be in trouble, but they haven't quite figured out, you know, what he's trying to do. But Herbert is trying to basically create the cast of Evil Dead as deadites, take them to the cabin in order to bring them back as people, not deadites. So in order to kind of bring them back to life properly.
Reanimate them.
Reanimate them properly as real people again, to see if it's possible to get kind of rid evil. He's a crusader. Okay, right. But we don't know that yet. Campbell realizes how the depictions of the Necronomicon are all showing characters of the Evil Dead in the cabin as possessed by deadites. They are all young, and so they're looking for. Herbert is obviously looking for people who are the same age as people in the Evil Dead original film. Yeah. So he said, "Well, at least the original cast are safe." You know.
Okay.
So that puts them off the list. Yeah. At least this won't be another Halloween H2O. You know, and indeed Herbert only wants Campbell's blessing and didn't want anything to do with Combs, even though he is Herbert. He didn't want anything to do with Combs because Combs would be the foil for this. The black van is gone, but they remember the tracker. See, we're working together. Twice as smart as any other character. Maguire speaks up and says, 3 times as smart. I'm waving, but he hasn't got a hand.
Yeah,
So
he's just
he's
a severed
wiggling.
head.
Yeah, it's just a head. They shake their head at him. So in McGuire's head, realizes that they look at the track light, but he doesn't know login. And of course, they remembered that the crazy lady had emailed Combs. Her name is Bethel. Okay, Bethel@gmail.com, whatever the email is, not actually signed to a real person. Whatever the case. Now for the password, Combs looks at Campbell, and they both say, Rufus, the name of the cat.
The cat.
So they've got the account. They know that, and they basically have the black van now on, and it's heading east out of California. This becomes a road trip across the USA. Combs, Campbell, and the reanimated head of Tobey Maguire. Okay. So the rest is just notes, and it's just bullet points because I can't really flesh out the whole treatment. This is too much. But they track the van to a motel park. Herbert kills the man and fits the description of Scotty from Evil Dead. So he finds somebody working either in a cafe or something. And in that moment, the crazy cat lady Bethel, who's also got the tracker, she's after Campbell. No, she's after Combs.
Right.
And she demands that he takes her to, she rocks up and she demands that to Campbell that she takes him to Combs. Herbert kills her and reanimates her, leaving her roaming the motel on her own. So Campbell and Combs are asleep. But okay, I've read that. She's the young Herbert first, but he kills her because she's looking for Campbell and Combs. Of course, she's a tracker. She's also looking for them. She's got the dead cat still. So he kills her and then reanimates her. So you got this giant woman with a dead cat. Maybe he should reanimate the cat as well, because just for the hell of it. So anyway, Combs and Campbell realize that there's something wrong at the motel, and they drive out, and somehow they just run her over with a car.
Right.
Because they know they're in trouble. She's there.
The large reanimated lady.
Yeah.
With the cat.
With the cat. So this is when they realize that they are in trouble.
Yeah.
They visit an abandoned video store and they eat and clean up mess from Bethel on the car, or bits of Bethel everywhere, because she makes quite an impact on the car. The head of Maguire attempts to avoid a spider from climbing to mouth. That whole event. And this is where it gets genius. Okay, this is why Sam Raimi would love this. He accidentally chokes on the spider and dies again. But then, because of the reanimation juice that's still in the system, he comes back to life and grows 8 legs. So now the disembodied head of...
That's inspired. It's also a bit Thing. I'm thinking of the head in the Thing.
It is very the Thing. And, now he is Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man in the world of Reanimator and Evil Dead. And
he's literally a Spider-Man. He's
literally a Spider-Man. This is what I wanted to do. So then there's that they're now in a video store fighting against Tobey Maguire, who is now an aggravated, very angry spider.
Yeah.
And they eventually kill him with a shovel or something. They just batter him to death, and so that's the end of Tobey Maguire's part in the movie. Okay, so basically, Herbert's starting to collect all these characters from the movies, from various sources, but then they need Ash. Of course, they have Linda, Cheryl, and Scotty in the back of his van, all cleaned up. They're all kind of like, you can have like scenes of them just kind of like looking at each other, like, because they're all diets. They're all diets as well, not reanimated. They're reanimated wrong.
So like, say, obviously, Campbell following them, is this all part of his plan?
It seems to be.
Does he need Bruce there to?
That's what I was thinking.
His plan?
They need them all there to kind of, but not Combs. I don't think they wanted Combs.
Yeah, they don't need Combs. Yeah.
But there's they've tracked the van, and the van is going to Tennessee, which is where the cabin is. Yeah. But it just so happens that in the city of not the city of Tennessee, that would be crazy. Somewhere in Tennessee, the Evil Dead the musical is playing.
Oh man. You put
Okay. So, and that could have been a thing in your film, and in your idea is that there could have been Ash the musical version as well.
Yeah,
There could have been Ash the
absolutely.
musical version, kind of like appearing, but I've got him instead. So basically, there's a theatre production of Evil Dead. Herbert's there. He needs Ash. He's got to finish.
Okay.
He's got to finish that collection of cast members, and he needs Ash. So it's all chaos in the theatre. Combs and I think it's about time that some of them get armed with guns and things, and there's
chainsaws,
and of course the audience will think that this is amazing.
Yeah.
When the cast members start to get bitten and killed and possessed, and you've got Herbert running around with the reanimating juice trying to get Ash, the musical version. So.
What's brilliant about this is sort of conjures up demons too, as well. That takes place in a theatre.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
So that
it's Italian zombie film.
Is that like the illusion of what's happening on stage is actually being perceived by the audience as being to still the play, that kind of thing?
I think it starts like that until everyone starts getting killed. But yeah, sorry, go on, Carol.
So that's kind of the five deadites go through the woods. After that, they go from the musical to the woods. Campbell and Combs basically. Hang on. Let's just get my head into the game. The idea is to assemble the original cast and give the Deadites portal power, to give power to the portal. Okay, right. So they have to all be possessed in the cabin at the same time, and so in order to open the portal, so that Herbert can then enter through into Lovecraft land, because he wants Arkham to appear, and he's trying to basically build the Lovecraftian world. He's trying to turn the whole world, and he needs the Deadite portal. And the only way he can open the portal is if all hell is breaking loose in that cabin with all the characters from Evil Dead in order to recreate that portal. If that makes sense. It might not make sense. It might actually be too convoluted, and it just needs to be ironed out. But it all goes wrong. Hang on. Ash from the musical is only pretending to be a Deadite. Luckily, luckily he kind of figures it out.
Twist.
He's an actor, and so what? It's not the portal isn't appearing. Herbert's pissed off, and he's like realizing that Ash is actually from the musical. He's free from his chains, and he starts to hack to bits the cast members in the movie, and just like he did in the actual Evil Dead movie. Campbell and Combs are observers pretty much for most of all this, and he gives a wink to Campbell, and in doing so sacrifices himself so that the portal can't be opened. So I think we need to kind of build the musical version of Ash's character a little bit more. Maybe even have him at the convention mentioning, I'm playing Ash in the musical over in Tennessee. There needs to be something to kind of build his character up a little bit.
So he could be the person who gets Bruce Campbell to sign something before.
Yeah, before the Necronomicon kid. Yeah, exactly. You got to have that instance. They're like a rule of three. You've got Crazy Cat Lady, you got Necronomicon, and you got musical. Got the three, the triangle of different people who are all important.
Yeah, but it would be funny if, like, sort of Bruce really doesn't take a shine to the actor playing him in the Evil Dead.
Yeah, he doesn't like him. Yeah,
like it could be like a real pretentious actor, like a scarf around his neck, and really like, oh, I've done Shakespeare, right now I'm doing you in.
Yeah, he's actually not, but he's not even American, and that's the problem. He's English.
Yes, very good.
He is English, and that's how dare they take the role of Ash from us, So they Campbell and Combs drive back to LA, shaken but stronger than ever, and they get a call from Tobey Maguire, who turns out to be alive and well.
Okay.
I don't think I like that ending. I think we should stick to Tobey Maguire is dead and no longer around. But that means also the Crazy Cat Lady will be there. I don't know. This is the ending, and I kind of like thinking. Well, the ending at the cabin is done. Yeah. Okay, everything happens there. Ash from the musical sacrifices himself for the good of everything, and Herbert ends up burning. Oh yeah, the idea of when I said about the girl at the beginning of the Evil Dead remake, when she burnt, the whole cabin should have erupted because it's old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to prove to them that if you set fire to that Daniel Radcliffe in the middle of a cabin, that the whole thing will actually go up. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the idea. So, but I like the idea.
What'd be really good is just the English actor playing Ash. It's like would be really over the top about how he's about to sacrifice himself. You know, like really overacting that part. And then like Bruce Coles look at each other like, that guy's a fucking dick.
Chewing the fucking scenery. Jeez. I mean,
Yeah,
he's worse.
you know what I mean?
He's as bad as you comes in Reanimator. I thought you were bad. I said, well, I thought you were bad.
Yeah.
You know, but this guy.
It'd be a nice little self-aware Evil Dead thing as well. So
self-aware and also, they're kind of like how he's sacrificing himself. He says, well, there's another English actor out of the competition ring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
and of course, but I like the trick ending at the end with Tobey Maguire being alive, but then the crazy cat lady being there as well with a reanimated cat. You know, just kind of just something to kind of tie in. You have it. It was the Reanimator that was my inspiration, not anything else. Because I kind of thought, well, both of those movies they're so very similar in the tone and the comedy and
that's really good. Very, very good. Very, very fleshed out. Love it.
There are plot holes. There are plot holes. There is convoluted moments, and of course the whole fucking thing with Pet Tracker. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't have happened.
No, but like you say, did you write it and then thought of that and have to go back and do the email bit?
Yes, I did. I had to insert all that. I mean, I even thought about them having the Necronomicon themselves, and it's kind of like this wild book that they have to kind of keep with them on their journey that they're referring to. Yeah. But then I thought that means Herbert will be chasing them because he needs the Necronomicon. He wouldn't be able to do it without it. So they wouldn't actually be on that journey. Everything will be constantly chasing Combs and Campbell. But it's so funny that we both went meta. So funny.
Well, I really like the similarities at the beginning between both of our stories.
Yeah. I mean, the convention idea, I mean, it just seems to be, it's spoiled by H2O and New Nightmares. That's what it is.
That's what it is, yeah. But like when I was doing mine, it was only afterwards I thought, actually, this is very New Nightmare. I wasn't thinking about it while I was writing it, you know. But I think to bring the Reanimator into it is brilliant. It's really, really good.
It's definitely, and they've never wanted to do another Reanimator. There's nothing left for Combs to do with that character. No. And Bruce is kind of like the same. They're both in that same place.
Yeah.
And notice that I didn't actually include Dean. Was it Dean Cain, the Reanimator's friend, the guy who actually was helping Herbert do all the you know, it's the guy and the girlfriend, and there's three of them together doing all the stuff, even though they're But he is it Bruce Abbott, the actor? He's no longer an actor anymore. He's an architect.
Right.
So I even thought that maybe, just to kind of bring an idea of architecture, that Cinedyne was actually the architect of the actual building of Cinedyne was Bruce Abbott, and that would have been a kind of like a nice throwback to that.
Wow.
Just little things like that just kind of came in at the end where I just didn't write that in. But yeah, I mean, I don't see why not, you know.
No, absolutely. Would you like to really flesh out that story and then try and get it to the right people?
I would do. I mean, I just like the idea of a black van filled with the cast of Evil Dead Deadites just sitting there. Yeah. How they get possessed, I don't know. I mean, I can imagine them being reanimated because they've been killed. But if that's the case, then that cannot all be just zombies looking at each other, not so much Deadites. Yeah. And I like the idea of them kind of like throwing back and forth Evil Dead trivia, even though they've been kidnapped in the back of a van. You know?
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. I just like the idea that they're dressed as Deadites, but then they get killed with a reanimated, so they're not Deadites.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's even better. They're actually dressed as Deadites. Well, two of them are. Scotty is basically the Joey is that he could kid, who fits the description because he's really got nothing going on. Yeah. You know, No,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he doesn't even know his own character. And then I've pulled Linda and Ash in from the musical. I mean, it's possible you could actually bring both of those together from that part. But yeah, I mean, it is inspirational. But if I wrote it, where would it be worth it? I don't know.
Don't know.
It's got a lot of writing on it. I mean, Tobey Maguire has to being killed off.
I could probably have a laugh in it.
It'd be funny.
Really,
It is honoring. I mean, I've always said that I've never been keen on his characterization as an actor, what he does, but this is kind of like me trying to kind of bring him into something,
Yeah.
despite that feeling of like, but I like the idea of him fighting off this spider with his tongue, trying to stop it from climbing into his mouth. I mean, spiders climb into mouths all the time when people are asleep, and he can, this little spider just crawling around his face.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, he could be on a floor or something. The floor's disgusting, and he's his tongue to like get a pencil and trying to hit. And there's all this crap going in his mouth. He's like, trying to spit it all out, and
that's it.
Using his eyebrows to try and get the spider off here.
That's it. I mean, it could be a really interesting performance for Tobey Maguire to get into.
It could, and it'd be really. You could make that both disgusting and hilarious all at the same time.
Exactly, and the idea that as soon as he consumes the spider sprouts legs.
Yeah, but to be really funny, it's like,
and then he dies. Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, and then there's like twitches in his skin, and then these things start to come out of his neck, and next thing you know, he's Spider Maguire.
Spider Maguire, and that's it. Spider Maguire, even better. Spider Maguire. Oh, yeah. Well,
this is why we need to write together more.
It's fun. Yeah, that was fun. Definitely.
Wow, that's brilliant. Really, really impressed, Steve. That's really, really good.
I can't believe we've actually just had a podcast and we haven't mentioned a film. We've just done our own thing.
Well, can I tell you just one story? There's an idea I was going with this, but it was too dark, so I had to play it back. Too dark. Well, right, it was going to start in a hotel. Sorry, no, I'm going to stretch that. A police station. It was after the events of the Evil Dead, the original film.
Yes.
And it was being interrogated. Ash has been interrogated to find out what happened and all that. And basically, in flashbacks, in a kind of usual suspects type way, they pieced together that actually had a psychotic breakdown and he just murdered all his friends. And all the events in his head, he sees deadites, he sees murdered, he sees this book and all that. None of that actually happened. It was all in his head, and he just had the psychotic meltdown and murdered all his friends.
Which is film theory,
Well, that's the thing.
That's one of the theories that actually
someone else has thought about. So we'll look around it. I thought, loads of people have thought that. So then they abandoned it.
But then, but it could actually be a twist in that, the book was written by somebody, and who knows? You could start. I don't think it would be that dark to kind of say that the first act could be that.
Yeah,
it's presumed, and then
I thought the twist would be that the decided he's mentally unstable and like this white van comes to get him and there's like a little glint in his eye and the whole thing is he still is possessed by the dead eye, and that whole thing was he's tricking the policeman to get out there, and now he's into the wider community.
Yes,
and he's going to start possessing him, but
so it starts off in the asylum where he'd been put away, and that's it.
But I preferred going with the crazy meta
comedy
thing.
But making it funny as well.
Definitely.
Definitely.
That's the thing about Evil Dead, isn't it? They're hilarious as well as disgusting.
And that's it. We talked about that last time. I mean, why are they not attempting that? And maybe it's because it's just too hard to do it without Bruce Campbell and without Sam Raimi. Because why would anybody else attempt to make it a comedy when comedy is a very personal thing? Only Zucker can do Naked Gun movies. It's proven time and time again that as soon as a comedy is transferred over from the original hands into somebody else, it's never that funny.
Oh, have you heard the news mentioning that
Police Academy 8? No.
They're doing a remake of Naked Gun.
Yes, I did hear an inkling of something, and I can't remember who was involved.
It's not going to make you happy. It's not going to make you happy.
I don't think it. You know what?
Think,
Things in the
think
movie industry, they can do anything in the movie industry. It's the world I'm worried about. You know.
Yeah, but do you know who's going to be doing Leslie Nielsen's part?
Oh,
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson's doing it, so he's going
He's
to be
too
Frank.
old. I mean, wasn't Leslie Nielsen only 20 when he's? But what's Steve Martin? You know,
Yeah,
that would be better.
He did
He's
one
old.
for the Pink Panther, you know.
True. Wow.
Yeah.
So that we've got that to look forward to, and you know what? If we actually get to that and make it out in 2025, and we actually get to see it, then we're doing okay, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll definitely talk about it next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
The First Omen is also another thing that's coming soon.
Oh.
Yeah, I just read about it.
Well, this was the thing I was going to tag on the end, but I don't know if you're up for it. But what films are you actually looking forward to this year?
Ooh. Well, do you know what? I actually am holding up a piece of paper. I'm actually holding up a book. It's an on-screen. It's got migration on the front. This is not the internet, Andy. This is actually paper.
I don't understand what you're holding there.
So when I said I actually read something, I didn't read it on the internet. I read it in print, so it must be true. It must be true. No, Bill Nighy in the First Omen. When a young woman travels to Rome to join the church, she encounters a darkness that leads her to question her own faith and uncovers a plot to bring about the birth of the evil incarnate. Oh, so it's kind of like it's the Rogue One.
Ah, right.
The plans. It's all about the plans, and of course, yeah. So the First Omen. This is like a prequel.
So it's a prequel to the Omen. So, all right.
It's just a load of.
It's already an anticlimax because you know.
Yeah, it's Rogue One.
Right. Okay.
But no, what am I looking forward to? I mean, I'd like to go and see Furiosa, the new Mad Max movie.
Yeah.
The actress in it, she's really good. I'm sad that it's not Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Because she is Furiosa, but then Mel Gibson isn't Mad Max anymore, so it doesn't really matter, and there's not going to be a Mad Max in this movie. So this is like Furiosa's origin story, which I'm okay. You know what? I'd go and see that.
Well, it's Mark Miller's doing it, so it's okay.
Yeah, as long as he's doing it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, as long as Sam Raimi makes Evil Dead, I'll go and watch it.
Yeah,
because there's
they've done a remake of Roadhouse, which by all accounts is actually
yeah, and I've heard it, and that's a good. Yeah, it's a series though, right? Was it a film?
No, it's a film. The director, I want to say it's Doug Liman, but I might be wrong.
Ah, that's a Jake Gyllenhaal thing.
Yeah. So they wanted it. He's actually angry that the studio have give it straight to net. I think it's going straight out on Netflix, isn't it, or something like that?
Oh yeah, it has, or Prime.
Yeah,
one of the two.
Yeah, and he's angry because he wanted it to go in general release because he's actually quite proud of it. So
yeah, I mean exactly.
Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire is coming out.
Exactly. I mean that's March 29th, and you see there are genuinely good reasons to go out to the cinema.
Yeah.
Even though
Alex Garland's new film, Civil War. I mean, that dude's not putting a foot wrong yet.
He's doing all right. Yeah. That's
Kirsten Dunst is in that, but it's always good to see Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, I mean, she's growing on me. Definitely. Yeah. I still think she was at her best in Interview with a Vampire. I think she was incredible in that movie.
Have you seen Melancholia?
No, I don't think that's one of those movies that I kind of like. No, is probably going a little bit too. It's Darren Aronofsky, right?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
It's all based at her wedding, you know, but the world's ending. But it's really.
But the weird thing is, I think I'm softening. So the dark stuff is not coming in as much now. It's got to be an escape. It's got to be an escape. Unfortunately, these days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So, but yeah, Frozen Empire. I mean, the trailer is a bit weird because they've got like Aykroyd's speech in it, and it's kind of like broken up from different things that he says in the movie. It's kind of a patchwork speech. you got to find your destiny. And I'm like, oh no, don't do destiny. Just do Ghostbusters. Just do Ghostbusters. Okay. Don't do destiny.
Yeah.
But
I didn't mind the last Ghostbusters that came out. It was all right. It
I
wasn't
didn't
brilliant,
mind
but
it.
it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I generally enjoyed it as a form of entertainment, and the Harold Ramis thing that they did at the end was nice.
Yeah, I actually got a little bit choked up.
It would, but it's a little. I think that's the first time an actor has appeared in a movie as his ghost.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, going back to Roadhouse and Patrick Swayze, I find it very hard to watch Ghost because it's Patrick Swayze as a ghost. It's amazing that the dichotomy of that thought, that process, that whole reality. Yeah. That's why I'm happy to make Tobey Maguire headless and have him running around like a spider.
But didn't Harold Ramis' son play him? It was his son, wasn't it?
Was it his son is doing the actual?
Which makes it actually kind of beautiful. Yeah,
that is a beautiful. Yeah, and that I like. Why they couldn't have put Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray in it together in the actual film rather than the end credits. Yeah. And if they're smart, they'd put them together in this movie, this next one.
I would imagine it's scheduled conflicts, and they couldn't get together. And they said, "Actually, we've got this day. All right, we'll do something and just tack it on the end."
Yeah, I know what we'll do. We'll do the psychic card thing. It'll be funny.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yay, we'll have a few laughs.
We'll get together. Have
a few laughs.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Perfect.
Oh, we've got Bad Boys 4 to look forward to. Jesus Christ.
What? There've been 2 others? What?
Yeah.
Where have I been?
A Quiet Place Day 1. I like the first 2. Have you watched both Quiet Place?
Quiet Place, yeah. I generally scary, generally frightful, and generally very restrained. I like restraint.
Oh, here's one for us, July 19th. Twisters. We could talk about Twister.
Twisters. Yeah. That sounds like a good one. The Helen Hunt,
Bill
Paxton.
Carrie Hills. Philip Seymour Hoffman was in that. Jesus.
Yeah, so what are we going to do next week, Andy?
Oh, is it me who has to always inspire the next episode?
No, you don't. No, you don't. I mean, I can. I mean, we can always talk about Reanimator, but then I don't know what to really say about Reanimator other than juice.
What's already been said,
and boobs. Well, let's just end the episode, then we can decide what we're going to do. So next week, Andy, we don't know what we're going to do, but we'll figure it out. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so cool. Check it out. We'll be back soon. Hopefully next week.
Speak to you next week.
I feel the need for speed. Charlie, don't surf.
This is fantasy.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Quit griping.
I like griping.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.